Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's been about a month since Fran and I bought our first Tesla, and we watched dozens of YouTube videos before we were buying. I've done a video already of our journey from first ride to purchase, but now that we've had one for a month, we really have an understanding of what it's like to own one ourselves. What I'm fixing to bring you is not a review by Tesla experts or anything like that, or to criticize any previous videos we've seen. It's simply two first-time owners and what we've learned in our first month. So let me get right into it. I'm going to make this pretty quick. I want to answer some questions that you might have if you've purchased one recently or are still deciding to purchase a Tesla. One of the first questions that Fran and I had to ask ourselves was, how much do we actually drive? What's our annual miles, and does that matter? Fran only drives about 5,000 miles per year. We've really felt that that would be something that a electric vehicle would be able to handle. We did test drive two of them, and we watched lots of videos to help us decide whether we should purchase one or not. After all our research, we did decide that an EV fit our lifestyle. Few things for that first week of ownership, and this is where probably new owners may get overwhelmed by it if you haven't done a lot of homework. The screen, as we knew, would be everything. Just like your cell phone is everything, that screen has got everything and all the apps that you use. Well, Tesla EV has a screen with everything possible that you can do with the vehicle. It is somewhat of a learning curve. There's things we probably still haven't discovered how to use after a month. The app on your phone is extremely important. It is your entry to your vehicle. One of the cool features of the phone, having the phone, is that you never have to unlock your car, lock your car, start your car. It's unlocked when you get close, get in it, push the button, you drive, you stop, and you get out and walk away. Everything shuts off. There are profiles that are set up, just like most modern vehicles do today, for seat settings and mirror settings and these sorts of things. So that's one of the first things we did, was set up Fran's profile and my profile. Grok is there. I haven't really been accustomed to using it or talking to any device. Fran is very familiar with talking to Siri and Alexa and those sorts of things. But that's something we'll get used to. There are plenty of voice commands that you can use to help operate your vehicle. I think there is a owner's manual. Do you really need one? Charging, of course, is a big factor in understanding ownership. Let me tell you what we did. We decided, when we learned that we could charge it on a 120 regular outlet in our garage, we did not make any purchase of any charging systems. We did it for about 3 weeks. It works, and with as little driving as we were doing, the 120 was sufficient. The only drawback is, after using it for a day, and if we were down 10% in battery life, to charge it back up to the 80% that's recommended that you keep it at, that took about 12 hours with 120. So if you use it a lot and want to keep your car charged and ready to go, I would definitely not recommend that you stick with 120, but it's possible. And we could have done it, but we did decide to have a 240 outlet installed in our garage. Very simple. We paid about $300 to an electrician to do that. What a difference does it make? Instead of 12 hours of charging overnight, it's charged by the time we go to bed. Charging outside your home is something that we were obviously aware that we may have to do, but with our driving in our daily life, or Fran's daily life of driving around, I do not suspect we'll ever use a charger, whether it be a Tesla supercharger or any of the other available charging stations that are out there that you could use. I really don't think we'll use that locally in our county. Florida Power and Light, where we live, has a power bank that you can have installed, and we looked into that. The expense of that just didn't seem worth it for us. Bottom line is, on charging, depending how you drive, get a 240 before you make any bigger expenses. With regard to travel, when we take a long trip, which we'll probably do one sometime in 2027, we've studied the map, and there are plenty of superchargers laid out across the United States, and plenty in our path when we travel from Florida to Texas. The actual cost for electricity, let me mention that. The first month, it wasn't quite a month, but I think our electric bill will be a little over $30 more per month. I'll have to give it a little more time to see what that average is. It's definitely going to be a gas savings. The app itself actually calculates average cost for your electricity that you're using and the average price per gallon and what would you would use if you were using a gasoline engine. Take that all into consideration. Home charging. I don't think we'll ever have charging anxiety. Let me get into driving. This is the fun part. One of the things that we had heard and we didn't understand until we had it has one pedal driving. When you're not on full self-driving and you're driving the vehicle yourself, you're only using the accelerator. There is a brake pedal. Somebody always asks me that. I say I'm one pedal driving. They say, do you have a brake? Yeah, we have a brake. But the way this car is designed, this electric motors, is when you remove your foot from the accelerator, the car stops. It does not coast. And so that didn't take long to get used to. It's actually pretty cool that when you slow down, you just learn how to get your foot off the accelerator like you do in any automobile. You can regulate and never use the brake. How quiet a ride the car is, I was surprised at that. The quietness, the handling was tighter than I'm used to. Very good. Very impressed with the turning and the tightness of it as you're backing out and making turns. The handling is excellent. The comfort, I knew going in when we did our research that the Tesla Model Y rear-wheel drive, what we purchased, is right now the best on the market for, I think, comfort. It sits a little higher than the other models. It's extremely comfortable. Visibility is amazing. Even though the rearview mirror doesn't give you much visibility, but with your cameras all around and your 16-inch screen. Every day living with it, storage space, as we learned, here's the biggie that everybody wants to know about, wants to talk about, is the full self-driving. Did it scare us when we first got into it? Sure. That's, I think, natural. When you're sitting behind the wheel of a car and you're used to controlling it, when you press full self-drive, the vehicle starts driving all by itself. Naturally, you're going to be frightened. There are times when we disengaged. You disengage the full self-driving by using your hands on the steering wheel or tap the brake pedal, and that will disengage. Something interesting that comes when you disengage from full self-driving is a pop-up on the screen. The car wants to know why you disengaged. Was it because of traffic? Was it navigation? There's like 4 options, or you can just press the talk key and send a message why you disengaged. And we did have to make a couple of decisions to disengage when we felt it was following too close. We would not follow that close. I wouldn't say it was tailgating, but I just would have preferred not to be following the car in front of me that close. But it really does things pretty good. You do have to keep your eye on the road. Be looking around. You can't be looking down. You'll get warnings and beeps to tell you to pay attention. That actually happened to me one time when I was actually using a remote to get into our community, and I guess my hand was covering the camera that was watching my eyes, and I got a red flash saying, pay attention. It was a warning. Full self-driving is free for, I think, 30 days when you purchase it. But because someone referred us, we used their information to get us 3 full months of self-driving. Would we pay for it? I think pretty much we had decided that we'll pay for it, the $99 a month. Navigation, Tesla routing and charging stops, and it picking your routes. When you use full self-drive, you choose your destination and hit full self-drive, and just like a Google Maps that I use regularly, it shows the possibly 2 options of how you want to get there. Tap that to choose the route I want to go. There are some times, because I'm traveling in my town where I live and familiar with, there won't even be that option of the way I want to travel. So I just take it off full self-drive and go the route I want to, and then when I'm back on the route that I know it wants me to take, I put self-drive back on. So you can override that. It doesn't become an issue. HomeLink and MyQ. I have a MyQ garage door opener and cameras that I use with the keypad and on my phone, and there is a way to link your MyQ app with your vehicle, but I understand there's a charge for that, and I don't think that's necessary. We have a clicker for our garage door and a clicker for our entry gate in our community. And we learned that you can have a HomeLink installed in the vehicle for $300, $400, $500 maybe. So you can use 2 clickers, just like most vehicles have a HomeLink with 3 buttons on it. Tesla has an aftermarket where they can add those so you don't have any clickers. Instead of having that expense, what Fran and I did is we ordered a clicker One clicker is about the size of my clicker here, and it has 4 buttons that you can program. We only need 2 buttons, so we use this little clicker. Keep it right in a right up there by the dash. It's very inconspicuous, and we just use that. That was like under 20 bucks on Amazon. I'm all about saving money instead of having $300 spend 10 bucks. So in conclusion, I don't know if I've really answered questions that you might have, but I can tell you that it's a better ride than I expected. It's quieter. The charging is not an issue. It's got more storage. I've mentioned that. We love the app. I hope this has answered some questions that you might have had or are having about purchasing. No expert here, just somebody who did his research. I've owned it now for a month. I don't think we'll be selling it anytime soon. There's going to be not much of a trade-in. We normally keep our cars 6 to 10 years. Appreciate you stopping in and letting me share this with you. I hope it's been helpful. Please feel free to leave a comment, questions you might have. Like and subscribe to my channel. I'm still curious, and I'm looking for people that are also curious and share their thoughts with me. Thanks again. I'll see you in the next one.